What's going on, Raiders? Duelam here, and today we're going to be pulling some Void Shards. That's right. I love pulling shards. It's one of my favorite times, but we're also going to talk about why I'm pulling shards and why you should not skip this summoning event. I promise you, you are going to regret it if you skip this event. So if you're ready, let's get into it. But first, make sure you're clicking that download link or scanning the QR code to get Karato Fox Hunter. The second you start the game, an amazing legendary nuker. At level 10, you're going to be getting Tagore, an amazing epic support character. At level 20, you're going to be getting Fane, who's got some incredible turn meter steal, as well as some pretty crazy damage. And then at level 30, you're going to be getting Vergus, who's a defense-based champion, to help keep your other characters alive. And then this is super important. Day number 1 within the first 24 hours of making your Raid Shadow Legends account. Type in promo code Monkey King to get Sun Wukong, one of the best free legendaries they have ever given. And if you're on iOS, make sure you're clicking a different link in the description to type in any promo code. All right, so we've got the Summoning Rush event that just started. I always forget what it's called, but it's called the Summon Rush event. So right now, we do get pizza points for this, and there are 200 available. So we have 50 points at 1,070, and we also have 150 more at 3,500. Now, the total we need is going to be 1,500 for the 5-star on Donatello, and this is 200 of these points. And remember, we only have 250 points to kind of play around with and not use. But the problem is, and the reason why I am suggesting summoning for this, is because there is almost always, every single time for the Titan event in the 3rd week, there's a Deck of Fate. And a Deck of Fate is pure RNG on what you are going to pull. And from previous, there has been over 160 points in a Deck of Fate, at least from Tholin's. It was either 160 or 120. Someone can correct me. But if that is the case, even if it's 120 and you're missing 150 here, guess what? That's 270, and you will be short. So I recommend opening for this event because it's also very easy. So you need 3,500 points. So that's 7 Sacreds, 18 Primals. I don't recommend pulling either of those. It's a little over 29 Void Shards, so technically 30 Void Shards. And then it is a lot of Ancient Shards. It's like 70, more than that. Maybe, actually, let's do the math. 3,500 divided by 20 is 175. Absolutely don't do Ancient Shards. I think your best bang for your buck is going to be Void Shards, since it is 120 points per pull, and that is what I'm going to be pulling today. Now, there is no sort of boost right now other than the progressive chance, but there's no like buy one, get one. There's no 2x legendary. There's nothing like that going on. So the plan here, there is a progressive chance, and the plan here is I'm going to be putting in this guy, Fighty Teal Crest, and because this guy looks nuts. This guy is insanely good. I didn't even know who this was, and then I looked at him, and I'm like, oh, he is S tier. He is insane. So if you look at it, A1, Zephyr Lance attacks one enemy 2 times. Each hit heals allies by 5% of this champion's max HP, kind of like Donatello. Each hit also has a 75% chance to fill the turn meter of an ally with the lowest turn meter by 10%. So that's a 2-hitter with booked up to 100% chance to fill turn meter by 20% on an A1. That's nuts. That is so good. I'm thinking of like putting him with like Farakin and then the assist and then the ally assist, and then he's also doing this. That's kind of nuts. The A2 on Teal Wings attacks all enemies before attacking, removes all buffs from all enemies. Right then and there, that's a great ability already. Right then and there. That's all you need, and that's a great ability. Then it has a 75% chance of placing a block buffs debuff and a 30% chance, a 30% debuff on all enemies for 2 turns, the decreased speed debuff, which absolutely insane. Again, right? And then also fills the turn meter of all allies. This guy is nuts. This guy is so good, and that is buffed up to 100% chance with the book. Now, this guy does take a lot of books, right? So there's 6 books here. There's 4 books here, 2 books here. So a lot of books. It's 12 books, but this guy is very, very, very good. So block buffs, debuff, amazing for Hydra as well, especially because it attacks all enemies. Decreased speed debuff as well, and filling turn meter, absolutely insane. And then if he couldn't get better, now we have the A3 Sky Mirage, places an 50% increased resistance buff and a perfect veil buff on all allies except this champion for 2 turns, booked down to a 4-turn cooldown. Absolutely awesome. Decreases the cooldown of all ally active skills except this champion's by 3 turns. The cooldown of this skill cannot be decreased or reset. So this will not affect Donatello's A2 because it also has this line, the cooldown of this skill cannot be decreased or reset. But this is absolutely nuts. So if you're using the A2 first, getting that block buffs, the decreased speed out there, filling that turn meter, and then you use the A3 after everybody's used their A3, their A2, then guess what? Instead of using that A1, you're going to decrease those cooldowns and you're going to get right back to those A2s and A3s to get another round of massive heavy hitters very, very quick. Absolutely, absolutely insane. And then he still has a passive as well, Draco Speed. Turn meter fill effects on all allies under stun, freeze, sleep, provoke, fear, true fear, petrification, or sheep debuffs are 30% more effective. This is absolutely amazing, amazing, amazing in things like Hydra, amazing, and even Clan Boss when he does that single target stun. Like, this guy is amazing. Now, this is a little bit more niche whenever a sheep debuff is removed or expires on an ally, heals that ally by 25% of the max HP, places a 30% increased speed buff on them for 1 turn. So this is kind of something that would counter like Sun Wukong or Armons, right? But this is kind of more niche, honestly. And if there are multiple champions on this team with this skill, only 1 will activate. This guy is nuts. He's absolutely going to be my selection for the 15x chance that I will never get, but it's worth a shot, right? And then my next choice is going to be Oboro as well. So Oboro is not bad. I think it was a 3.5 on Hell Hades. The other guy, the Fighty, was 5 on Hell Hades, which is great. Attacks the A1, spreading chaos, attacks 1 enemy, has a 40% chance of placing a 60% decreased defense debuff for 2 turns. Awesome. Will attack all enemies instead if the target is under 4 or more debuffs, which is very cool. Definitely really nice. Something Hydra related as well. The A2, Mystic Smoke, attacks 1 enemy 2 times. The second hit has a 75% chance of transferring all debuffs from the champion, from this champion to the target. The first hit has a 75% chance of stealing all buffs from the target when under a veil or perfect veil buff, which is absolutely awesome. And then the A3 Ninja Arts places a 30% increased crit rate buff and a 30% increased crit damage buff on this champion for 2 turns. Then attacks 1 enemy, places a perfect veil buff on this champion for 2 turns if that attack is critical. Absolutely amazing. I love that. I love that. I love that. And then that perfect veil is going to help out with the A2 as well. And then the passive Vanish places a revive on death buff on this champion for 3 turns whenever they receive a veil or perfect veil. So essentially always going to have a revive on death buff, especially if you pair with something like Duchess Lilitu. You have Duchess Lilitu is going to be a good one. Rector Drath is a good one as well. A lot of Veil, Perfect Veil going out there. And then we have the Aura, increase ally attack in dungeons by 33%. So we are going to be doing Oboro here. So before I end up pulling, I am going to need to make some space. So I will be right back. I'm going to make some space for my 30 shards, and then I will see how lucky we get, shall we? All right, real quick, we are back. That took like 10 seconds, so that's cool. All right, we are going to summon 30 of these and see what we can get. Maybe we get lucky and we get our progressive chance here. Maybe we even get a character that we need for the Lady Mikage fusion. That'd be kind of cool. I could get the Weregrin Sun Curse guy. That'd be kind of nice, right? I would love to see that. So maybe we can get pretty lucky and make my life a little bit easier and at least get somebody usable, right? That's the goal. Let's get somebody usable here. So let's open it up. 10 Void Shards. Let's do it. Got some rares going. An epic. We pulled a Oboro! Oh my god! Okay, I think that's actually the first time I've ever pulled a character that I've from a progressive chance. That's absolutely insane. Holy hell, that's awesome. Okay, well, I'll take it. I'm also curious who Uragrim is, so I want to look up him. You see, I was looking up Oboro before the video as well. So let's see Eurogrim, because I don't know who that is. He looks pretty interesting. Avoid Epic, 4 out of 4. Okay, higher rating than Oboro. Pretty cool. We got some Demon Lord. We got pretty good in almost every dungeon. Hard mode, not the best though, which I'm starting to get to hard mode now. So I'm really starting to look for some characters that I can use in hard mode. I just got to the Fire Knight. Spider, I'm almost there. Dragon, I'm already there. And Ice Golem, I am also there as well. We got Faction Wars, Legendary, Damage, Protection, Support, Legendary. Okay, cool. Increase ally speed in all battles for an epic, and it's 20%? Damn. I like him already. All right, attack one enemy 2 times. Each hit has a 25% chance of placing poison. Love that. Remove all debuffs from an ally, then heals them for 40%. I also love that on a 3-turn cooldown book down. Also, this debuff chance goes up to 45%, 50% with Sniper, nothing wrong with that. And then Bizarre Vapors places 2 poison debuffs on all enemies for 2 turns. Damn, all enemies for 2 turns. Book down to a 4-turn cooldown. Also places a 15% continuous heal buff on all allies for 2 turns. Okay. I'll take that. I'll definitely get used to this guy. I'll get the Ogren Tribes Faction Wars rolling. That's something I really need to focus on once the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles event starts coming to a close. That's stuff I'm really going to start working on is going to be Faction Wars, especially with the free gear removal now. I can really just start moving my gear around wherever I want it to and put my best gear on everybody and then really start getting through those. So, all right. Well, this is a success already. We already pulled a Oboro and we pulled a pretty good Void Epic as well. So this is already going great. We got 20 more to go. And honestly, I'm already happy with this pull. So might as well make it better, right? All right, we got another epic, Ragnar Gold Gleam. Okay, I'll have to look him up because I have not seen him before. Scratched myself a little hard. Ouchies. All right, Ragnar Gold Gleam. Let's see who you are, sir. We're taking bets. I think he's going to be dog shit. That's just what I'm thinking right now. I think he's going to be absolutely terrible. Well, 3. Not the best. Dwarves. Introduce Ray during a festive fusion. Oh, he was one of the epics required for Pixniel. Okay, Faction Wars maybe. Damage, decreased defense, protection and support. Okay. Thirsty Axe attacks 1 enemy. A Leech. We like Leech, especially at a 60% as well. Booked up. Nothing wrong with that. I'll take it. I like Leech. Sacrifices HP equal to 15% of this champion's max health. Then fills the champion's turn meter by 75% and places a shield buff on this champion equal to 20% of their max HP for 3 turns. The shield buff cannot be removed. The HP sacrifice will happen even if it kills the champion and will ignore shield and block damage buffs. What the hell is this? Sacrifices HP equal to 15% of this champion's max HP. So you take a turn, you sacrifice 15% of max HP, then fills the champion's turn meter by 75%, places a shield buff on the champion. Interesting. So you're just like doing it just to get a shield? That's interesting. Okay, that's a weird turn. And then the A3 Gleam of Avarice. Also, this can go down to a 3-turn cooldown. Cool. Places a 50% increased attack buff on the champion for 2 turns. Then attacks 1 enemy. Has a 75% chance of placing a 25% weakened debuff on the target for 2 turns. Also has a 75% chance of placing a decreased defense. The big version. Nice. Okay. Nothing wrong with that. Decreases the cooldown of this champion's Gleam of Avarice. That's the A3. Skill by 1 turn every time this champion loses 15% HP. I see. The HP loss is accumulated and tracked over multiple turns, attacks or hits, and is not affected by healing or other HP increases. Okay, cool. So essentially you just want to do the A3 over and over and over and over and over again. And the A2 is only time you do it is because the A3 is not up, essentially. Okay, that's interesting. That's a very unique kind of mechanic there. I don't think I've ever seen that anywhere else. So I guess he could be used in the Dwarves faction for Faction Wars. So I guess maybe I'll end up using him. Who knows? All right, let's pull one more, and then that'll be the end because I will get my 200 pizza points. But this was a success. Maybe we can make it more successful and get a legendary here. All right, we're getting nothing but rares. There's an epic. Sylar. Okay, I don't know who Sylar is. Okay. Another epic? Oh, I should have changed the progressive chance to the other person, too. The other epic. To see if I was going to pull them or not. But let's get Sylar in here. Let's see who Sylar is. I think I have seen her before. She definitely looks like she has a fantastic personality, if you know what I mean. Four rating. Let's get back on track here. Really good in Doom Tower, it seems. Scarab King, Frost Spider. Scarab King, is she a shielder? Does she do shields? Does she do shields? I need shields. Oh, Spider, really good in Spider, actually. Not Spider hard, though. Holy moly. Does she do shields? Because that'd be great for Scarab King. Let's see. Increases ally speed in Faction Wars by 22%. She is Dark Elves. Awesome. So she'll be using my speed aura in Dark Elves. The A1 Surge attacks all enemies. Just damage. That might be the most boring A1 I've ever seen in my entire life. Okay, moving on. A2, Toxic Cloud, attacks all enemies, has an 80% chance of placing a 50% decreased accuracy debuff for 2 turns. Booked up to 100% chance, nothing wrong with that. 3-turn cooldown when booked as well. And then the A3, Lead-In Legs, 6 turns, booked down to a 4-turn cooldown. Places a 30% decreased speed debuff on all enemies for 2 turns. Decreases the turn meter of all enemies by 40%. Damn. Okay, that's actually really good. That's really, really good. Like, Lysandra does pretty similar. Like, Lysandra only reduces 30% turn meter, so she's reducing 40% turn meter and putting the decreased speed debuff on all enemies for 2 turns. It being a 4-turn cooldown is the only negative, but if you put something like Relentless or even like Reflex, you could definitely get going with this. Just speed and accuracy is pretty much what I expected. Yeah. Stun, daze as well. Okay, gotcha. Speed, accuracy, HP percent, crit rate. Interesting. Why the hell would you want crit rate on her? That doesn't make much sense. I guess she has an okay multiplier here, but like, she's mostly just accuracy, speed. I wouldn't want to put crit rate on her. That's a little bit odd. Maybe they couldn't decide on a third. And then we have Beardall, Fellhammer. Let's see if we could just do Fellhammer and see if that works or not. Haha, it did. Awesome. I wasn't going to try to figure out how to spell Beardall. Beardall, 2.5. Absolute trash. Well, he's going to be going in the garbage. So, all right then. Well, the good news is we did pull Oboro. We did not pull the legendary. But that's okay because we got all the pizza points we needed for 30 void shards. So I will absolutely take it. I think that is 100% worth it. We got 2, maybe even 3, 4 epics that are going to be pretty useful in Faction Wars, so I will take it. Nothing wrong with that at all. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section, and make sure you guys are clicking that download link when you're down there. Get started off in Raid Shadow Legends the best way possible. 3 legendaries, 3 epics, and you can get one of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles absolutely for free. That's right, you're going to get the Michelangelo absolutely free. You're also going to get him at 5 red as well, and he is absolutely nuts. He is changing my account for the better. Absolutely amazing. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Till next time, this has been Doolem. Later, Raiders.